Welcome to another fun-filled, behind-the-scenes look at RoadWorthy Drive. I'm Ken Chester. I'm in studio with my executive producer, Jack, and our social media person, Sasha. And we're so glad you could come join us as we attempt to produce another hour of RoadWorthy Drive. Now, in breaking news, I'm going to introduce you to an organic engine. Its name is Eva, and we'll explain what that's all about. Question, is car ownership becoming obsolete? There is a new book out that says Meet the Membership Economy, and we'll explore that. If you thought that the Equifax hack was problem enough, this is the hot mess that keeps on giving. We're going to talk about how another 10 million people and their driver's license was affected by this same hack. Finally, well, again, we're going to talk about heavy trucks. Occasionally, trucking gets kind of lost in the sauce with all this stuff swirling. We're going to explain why zero-emissions trucking is gaining momentum. And then finally, depending on if we have enough time, we're going to be talking about what I call the Brave New World Part 3. Insurance companies get with the program as they start to adopt machine learning and other AI tools in the providing of insurance. Some things that I think you'll find very interesting and maybe even a little disturbing, but such is life. Welcome to RoadWorthy Drive. Jack, 11?
11 minutes, sir.
Okay, let's do it. My earphones. Up. Little. Hello? Okay, I can go with that. That's fine.
Do you want to go faster? Yeah!
It's RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester. Ken loves talking about cars and automotive trends. And here he is, the automotive host with the most, Ken Chester.
Welcome to another information-packed hour of RoadWorthy Drive. I'm Ken Chester, your host and technological tour guide. My goal for our visit over this hour is simple: to inform, entertain, and make you aware of the automotive information that you need to know today, the information that you should know for tomorrow, and finally identifying the trends that will be impacting your life in the near future. You don't need to be a hardcore automotive type to enjoy or benefit from our weekly visits. But if you want to gain a better understanding of the technology around you and your family today, tomorrow, and even next year, then 1 hour with me will set you straight. This hour, I'm going to introduce you to Eva, an organically powered engine, and discuss the membership economy in breaking news. During segment 2, I'll discuss why your driver's license may be risk if you were caught up in that recent Equifax hack. Later, we'll explore what's going on behind the growing momentum with zero emission in medium and duty heavy trucks. And then finally, I will give you a behind the scenes look at 4 automotive insurance companies who are getting with the program with regards to technology and machine learning. As always, I welcome your questions, comments, and ideas. Connect to the show by calling or texting the RoadWorthy Drive line, that number, 872-222-9793, and that's anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If email's your thing, then you can contact me at ken@roadworthydrive.com if you would rather interact with me that way. In any case, I want to hear from you. We are fortunate here in the RoadWorthy Drive studios to have a man of experience and note at the controls for the program each week. The quality that you experience is a direct result of his knowledge and care. That man is my good friend and RoadWorthy Drive executive producer, Jack DeLeon. Jack.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Not bad at all. By the way,
yeah.
Had a brief meeting with the suits this week.
Okay. You know, at some point we're gonna.
Well, no. This was actually something that was asked of me to ask you.
Oh boy.
Next week.
Next week. Okay.
We are to make that major announcement.
Okay.
And you know which major announcement I'm talking about?
I think I do.
Yes, you do.
Okay. He says I do. He's the executive producer, so I take his
He
word
must
for
be
it.
right.
Well, that's
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying.
I'm
Yes.
right. Mark the tape.
Oh, my. So where's the love for the talent? That's all I got to say, really.
Who are you dealing with? The two of us in here.
Point taken.
That should answer the question.
Yeah, operative word there, dealing with.
Yes.
Now, Ken, what is going on this week?
And he's going to go like that.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. That's what happens when you have one too many meetings with the suits, I'm sure. We've talked about all kinds of alternative powered vehicles. Yeah, we've talked about electric and batteries. We've talked about solar powered. We've talked about compressed air. We've talked about liquid air here. But I got a new one for you. This one's completely organic. Completely.
What do you mean by organic?
Yes.
Actually, that a living thing has the ability to be part of a cycle that will actually make an engine turn.
Okay, now you said living thing.
I did.
Why does this sound like the hamster and the wheel?
Yeah,
No,
thank you. Yes.
There is no hamster. I will read the title.
Yes.
Okay.
Evaporation engines could produce more power than coal, but with a huge caveat. Basically, they're using a, let's see, what do they call this thing? It's some sort of, no, I don't want to say amoeba or something, bacterial spores that expand and contract, basically using the natural evaporative process of water being evaporated. What this does is it has the ability to absorb water that's being evaporated from like a stream or
Okay.
a lake and then release it later. What that does is it ends up making a turn, and a bunch of these together actually can make something turn round. Let me read it to you. Prototype evaporation-driven engines generate power from the motion of bacterial spores that expand and contract as they absorb and release air and moisture. Get this. If it could be done efficiently and affordably, the devices could provide more than 325 gigawatts of electricity generating capacity, outpacing coal.
Okay, this just sounds like bad science fiction to me.
Yeah, well, okay.
No, it's the real deal.
I'm not saying that it's not the real deal. I'm just saying that this sounds like...
There is a caveat, however. That, however, would require covering the surface of every lake and reservoir larger than 1.1 square kilometers in our lower 48 states, excluding the Great Lakes, with arrays of devices. Obviously, that would directly conflict with existing economic and recreational uses and raise a host of serious aesthetic and environmental concerns.
Yeah, because, no.
Wait a minute, I'll go you one better.
Okay.
Notably, interfering with evaporation on a large enough scale across a big enough lake could even alter local weather.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Let me throw this at you, though. If it's a device, there's a lot of different ways that water evaporates. It evaporates from power systems, air conditioning systems, things like that. What if, okay, maybe you don't go for the whole thing, but you downscale these things to capture some of that and turn it into electricity? It could end up reducing the need in places where it is not that obvious, like a cooling tower. Because that's evaporation that's going up into the sky. Why not capture some of that and generate some, what you call co-generate some electricity?
That is just way too much for me. I mean, that sounds like a sci-fi movie that happened. Like,
You take out the recreational use of a lake,
right.
I think you would see
Okay, but
people
you guys are
rise
getting
up.
hold on. You guys are getting ahead of yourselves.
No, because you just said...
Yeah, if they did every lake. But what if they don't? What if you use it for small co-power generation situations that may make a kilowatt here, a kilowatt there?
But is it going to be economically feasible for you to just produce a kilowatt here or there?
Yeah, because it's evaporative. The water's already evaporating. If you look at a cooling tower, steam's going up into the air. What's it doing? It's going up into the air.
So you're saying that I have my cooling tower, right? And I get this piece of technology to put on my cooling tower.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's just throw a number out there, $300,000 for this cap, right?
Mm.
And this cap that I now put on my cooling tower is now producing 1 to 2 kilowatt.
Obviously, it would have to be economically feasible.
Okay.
I mean, that's anything. That's any technology.
No.
Of all the technologies we've been talking about, it still has to make economic sense. But think about this. They're looking at early uses could include remote reservoirs already generating hydroelectric power, where it's not as likely to interfere with other uses. It could offer the added benefit of reducing water loss or evaporation, increasing the amount for energy generation, irrigation, and other needs. So there are some other advantages. It could make significant contribution to clean energy and climate goals, even if it's never rolled out anywhere to this level. And that's the thing. When they connected this device to a generator, it generated a slight little bit of power. That's what it looks like.
That is huge.
Yeah, it looks huge. It's not that look.
Okay.
Okay, to scale. But they named it EVA. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I'll leave you with this. Evaporation rates may change. They don't stop. Moreover, since the devices decrease the evaporation rate, they also raise the temperature of surface water. Modeling in the new study, they showed by deliberately altering the rate of this process, they could create a kind of thermal water battery that balances out generation and demand. In other words, here's another opportunity for power generation that doesn't require a compromise in terms of environmental safety. Think about that for a minute.
I'll let that sink in because, like I said, what I'm used to seeing for water use for generation of power, Hoover Dam.
Yeah, I've been to Hoover Dam.
I have too.
But here's my point. My point is, here is another technology that has a benefit. Will it be applied wide scale? Probably not. Will it get it down to, in certain unique situations, it makes sense? Absolutely. But it doesn't use fossil fuels. It doesn't use the sun. It doesn't use it doesn't use wind. It's another opportunity to generate power organically in a way that's safe. And that is the point. Oh well. When we get back, Equifax hack may have compromised your driver's license. And later, while zero-emission trucking is gaining momentum. You're riding shotgun with Ken Chester and RoadWorthy Drive.
You're listening to RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester on the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network.
Do you want to go?
Okay, the point is, this came from the MIT Technology Review. An 8 centimeter by 8 centimeter water surface that can produce about 2 microwatts of electricity and burst up to 60 microwatts. And basically, a microwatt is 1/millionth of a watt, but it generated power, so it's a matter of working, getting it to scale. Here's the thing.
Yes.
The spores that they were using continue to perform the necessary mechanical motion even when they're dead or dormant.
What?
MIT people.
So could that maybe be enough for like the future of our cell phones? Or are you thinking more mechanical?
It's a mechanical issue. It wouldn't work for your cell phone.
So maybe like farm equipment?
No, you're not thinking right. It needs the evaporation process
to
generate power.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cooling tower, otherwise chilling towers, anything like that. Heck, theoretically, evaporation from your sewage treatment plants. Your open pools that do aeration, they evaporate. Imagine if you can turn power from that. And go with your one more. Maybe it generates enough power to run the pumps to do the aeration. Becomes self-sufficient. You start applying it. I think where that will happen in the next 30 to 40 years is small, specific, maybe even industry-specific solutions. It will never make it. I mean, it's obviously a stationary solution. It's not a car solution. But if you can get clean power, that's the whole point.
Yep.
Less stress on the planet, less cost. You don't have to mine it, process it, develop it, manipulate it. or any of that. It is what it is.
And it's somewhat renewable.
Yeah. 9 minutes? Hold on.
9 minutes, sir.
Hold on. And you've got the commercial queued?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. I was going to talk about this.
Are you going to get to car ownership?
I don't know.
You really should.
Problem is that pushes. Well, we can always drop the insurance company thing if we run out of time.
Yep.
Okay, then let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay.
Between these 84 Corvettes is the gasoline they're using. This one accelerates faster with Amoco Premium Lead-Free. It's the highest octane lead-free you can buy, and the same high-performance gasoline that helps solve engine problems like knock and run-on in your car.
This is segment 2 of this hour of Roadworthy Drive. Thank you for dropping by. I'm Ken Chester. The membership economy, may otherwise known as the gig economy, we've heard, part-time. Things are changing, and not just motors and mobility.
Can you define that for me, please?
Well, people want to pay for the experience. And there's a mindset change going on from ownership to access. Do I need to own it when I can have access to it?
Okay.
In other words, if I'm a low-income person, I may not be able to swing the $25,000 for a new car. Heck, I may not be able to swing the $15,000 for the same size in a used car. But I might be able to put together $3 a ride, $5 a ride, $10 a ride, $40 a month, to have access to mobility.
Okay.
Or, and that's not just the auto industry, but it seems like everything. Amazon has been turning things upside down. Look at the cable industry, more or less, where people are cutting the cord, so to speak, and going to like Roku and Hulu and a host of other things.
Netflix.
Netflix is $8 a month. Your average cable bill is $50 a month.
That's going up at the end of the month.
Well, still cheaper.
It is still cheaper.
Is all my point. So, with all of this, while there are people who still prefer to own their cars, which is basically everybody in this studio, at this point, you don't prefer to own your car?
No, I would much rather, if I was able to do a membership to have my car, to have a car,
Mm-hmm.
I would give up owning a car in a heartbeat.
What would you pay for it? How much a month?
And it includes everything, short of gas, you're saying. It would include my...
Well, gas may be a moot point in 10 years.
Right, but I'm not going to be able to rent an electric vehicle.
Depends.
Okay.
The next 2 to 3 years.
If I had to...
From your budget.
Right, for my budget, for a membership, for a gasoline-based vehicle.
A vehicle.
Right.
Let's leave powertrain out of this.
All right. I would pay right around $350.
A month.
$400 a month, yeah.
Hands down.
Hands down. Easy. It'd be worth it for me.
That's my point. If you bought a vehicle, an upscale vehicle, a pickup truck, a upscale minivan, and your average vehicle today, average price, as we've talked about in this show before, is a little over $34,600, and these vehicles are running $350 a month is roughly what? Right around $4,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So 16, yeah. So for the price of a used car, she'd have access to something fairly new, no maintenance, no fuel, no insurance, get in and go.
And honestly, my standpoint from where I live, I get into my vehicle that I'm paying $400, $500 a month for, for the privilege of buying a new vehicle. Bambi decides to get into my road and I total it, I'm out. I mean, my insurance might cover most of the remaining loan, but then I've got to pick up another vehicle. My main concern for getting rid of actually owning the car, I don't have to worry about whether Sam has drunk too much going home and he hits me. I don't have to worry about Bambi. I don't have to worry about skidding off. I don't have to worry about any of that.
Wait a minute. What's the hate about Bambi here?
Bambi tried to commit suicide via my HHR a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
But basically, access is becoming the hot issue. And again, we've reported here that GM and Ford know this. They've already said that the individual private ownership of motor vehicles, that model is no longer sustainable. And they didn't just say it. They said it about 2 years ago.
Well, I understand that, but this still comes back to the same question that I've always asked, Ken. And that is, what in the world does that car actually cost to produce?
It really depends on what we're talking about. Statistically, right now, to give you an example, just kind of scope this down, all right? A fully electric, fully autonomous vehicle used in a ride-sharing situation will put on 6 times more mileage than that same vehicle in a private ownership situation.
Okay,
Average mileage in the United States is 15,000 miles a year.
Correct.
You're looking at 90,000 miles. Cost ownership becomes a moot issue for you now because you're only paying for time. Much the same way when you lease a car, you're paying for time, you're not paying for the whole car. Or if you have a plan or whatever where you're getting a piece of it, and that's the whole point. The issue is, why am I paying for the whole thing when all I want is access? And if I pay for access and the model works, then I can upgrade. What we talked about here about 3 weeks ago, the new Volvo program, with their XC40 crossover, where basically you can upgrade to a brand new Volvo every 2 years and never, ever, ever be upside down again. Think about that.
Well, yeah, I just found out this week I'm upside down in the truck.
Yeah. But the point is, that's money that you got to deal with at some point, whether you roll it over, whether you pay it off. It's money that's going to follow you till you resolve it. People want access. And that's what this book is all about, the membership economy. I wanted to share with it because I thought that it was very profound. Let's see, the writer, her name is Robbie Kelman Baxter, and the book is called The Membership Economy. It would be a great opportunity for those of you who are trying to get a handle on where this is going, because she doesn't stop with just the auto industry. She talks about books and music and the hospitality industry and on and on and on. But they're right. Why would you pay in this world to own it when all you really want is access? And that really is the question. She gives another example. We talked about the taxi industry. Well, a few years back, you had to have a medallion in New York City. There was a fixed number of medallions that you needed in order to run a cab legally.
Right.
On average, back then, the average cost of one of those medallions was worth $1 million. What's it worth now?
I have no idea.
Less than $300,000. Yeah.
It's dropped that much?
Oh, yeah. Well, you've got ride-sharing apps, car subscription brands and services, and that bikes, which is another mobility issue. That's the whole thing. Mobility is changing all of this. And it plays right into a change of mind about, do I want to own it versus do I want to have access to it? Hence, the book, The Membership Economy, which I think would be a really good read. Have not had a chance to read the book, but I think it would be a good insight for someone.
And who is the author?
Robbie Kelman Baxter, The Membership Economy. I believe that book is out now, and she runs an outfit called Peninsula Strategies. So, food for thought. When I get back here, I think we're finally going to get to Equifax and the hack concerning driver license data, and we might be able to have time to squeeze in a little bit about zero-emission trucks. You're listening to RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester on the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network.
This is RoadWorthy Drive.
Which article? That one? Okay, hold on. You're welcome. Okay, to the faxes. Yeah, well, the way this looks, we can get to the trucks. We're not going to get to the insurance companies.
Oh, you can say that for another time.
We'll say that for another time. Hold on, where is that here? We're 9 minutes. We're 9 minutes in segment 3.
Yes, sir.
Ready when you are, sir.
It's going to be a minute.
Okay, no problem. Just let me know.
I just have to save all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Usually
a good idea.
I got to process it and save it. Takes a little time.
Okay, no problem.
But I really, truly think that the membership is the way to go. The only thing that I don't like is the newer. I work with Microsoft Word, and now they're trying to, for the last couple of years,
Office 365.
yeah, they want me to pay a membership fee.
Adobe wants to do the same thing.
And I'd rather have the software.
But here's what you're missing. The beautiful part is this interjects some choice, but it doesn't mean you have to go that way. For some situations, the buyer or the consumer will determine that ownership is still the way to go.
Yep.
The vehicle after your home is the second largest purchase you'll ever make.
Right.
So there is just ripe for change. When you get down to, do I want to pay a monthly fee forever for software? No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't. And I'm not going to, if I can help it, as long as I can. So it depends. It's all relative. We ready?
Yep.
Okay, 9 minutes. Third segment. Let's do it.
Third segment, 9 minutes.
If you're just tuning in, this is the third segment of RoadWorthy Drive. Welcome, I'm Ken Chester. For those of you who want or need more than your share of the road, check out our show website. That's www.roadworthydrive.com. There, listen to podcasts of our previous shows, watch videos of our weekly behind-the-scenes antics as we produce the show, and more. The website is a great place to discover our activities across social media. Sasha keeps things light and lively through the week with her fun and interesting posts. See how we keep the social in social media. Now, we're running a little bit behind topic-wise. I'm going to try to get caught up. I kind of threw them with that organic motor. They were kind of, the crew, the RoadWorthy Drive crew, still a little split up about that. Not to mention the membership economy. We had some interesting conversations during the break about that. But I want to circle around and talk about Equifax. Unless you've been living under a rock or out of communication with the rest of the world, it was realized last month that Equifax, one of the 3 credit bureaus in the United States, had an act that actually went on for about 2 to 4 weeks before they figured out that somebody was in there, and affected over 140 million Americans. As they went on to do research, they found out that it also affected some Canadians, and it affected 15.2 million Brits. Basically, 20% of the British base was also impacted by this hack, in case you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
But this is the train wreck that keeps on giving. After all of that, this is worse than Takata. But anyway, way worse. And this is the messed up part. It got me kind of upset. No, sorry. It got me upset. Here's the deal. There are over 10 million Americans who gave driver's license information to Equifax, who also got that information hacked. But it gets worse. How did these people end up giving Equifax their driver's license information? Care to guess?
on an application.
Worse.
Oh.
Go ahead.
The license information was hacked through their remedial page. In other words, if you were looking at your credit history, you found some inaccuracies there. You go into their site and say, hey, this stuff is wrong. How do they verify that you were you?
Driver's license.
Bingo! So you've already got a problem, and these stupid people make it even worse.
Oh my God.
Over or under, Sasha, that he stands up here pretty quick?
Over.
Okay.
I got no words. I'm like, are you serious right now? That number one, I've got a problem with the report. All right, so I do, as a responsible person looking at the report, says, hey, Equifax, you got some stuff wrong. Equifax says, fine. Prove that you are who you are by giving us your driver's ID number. Yep. Well, guess what? Equifax and hackers have it now. Thank you, Equifax. Right there.
Wait. Does that mean, because I've used Equifax once very, very long time ago, and part of the, to prove who you are, they ask you security questions.
Correct.
Now, some of those security questions, like if you're like me, it might say, place where you're born. I don't put the place that I'm born because anybody and their daddy with Google could find out the place that anybody's born. I always put in a silly word. Now, does that mean that the hackers also got that information too?
The disclosure of driver's license information could give hackers even more information to use to try to commit fraud.
Yeah.
Although the information varies by state, licenses typically include a person's name, date of birth, home address, and personal details such as height and eye color. People who had given their driver's license information to Equifax were, in many cases, doing so as a way of verifying their identity with the company. This, in some cases, happened when consumers were using a web page meant to resolve disputes about credit report information.
Okay.
Equifax.
How did they not? 2 to 4 weeks is what you said. 2 to 4 weeks?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
That sounds okay.
I'm going to read this. Okay. But an employee in one area of the company failed to properly notify others of the patch of vulnerability. Compounding the error, the head of Equifax added, a scan of the company's systems meant to act as a backup failed to detect the lack of a patch. This allowed the hackers to roam in the company's data systems for more than 4 months.
What? No!
And compromise consumers' personal information for more than 2 of those months before Equifax security staff noticed suspicious activity in the systems in late July. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why there is such a thing as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Somebody's going to be going after somebody. Now,
unless certain Congress people water it down. But you don't get that from me.
Let's go back and look at something practical.
Okay, well, no, I've got practical right here. Go ahead. Ask me a question.
At what point in time are the states going to... Now, he stood up. At what point in time are the states going to have to reissue driver's licenses to solve the problem?
And how would you do that?
Right. I was just thinking that.
How would you do that if someone comes and says, hey, state of Iowa, my license has been compromised by the Equifax hack, and I need a new license issued. But wait a minute. But it's the hacker, not you.
Ooh,
yeah,
you have a point.
Think about that.
Well, the way you would solve that is either a passport or a birth certificate.
They know all your information already.
Yeah.
Good point.
So you got a
Social
problem.
security number, all of that. And now if you have that, exactly what you suggested, if you have that kind of thing, what about the people that they actually did take their information? Who's going to monitor their credit?
Oh, but wait a minute.
No.
Equifax said they would be glad to do it for a fee.
For a fee?
Yeah.
I will pay you. And you already let someone.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Trust me, though.
I didn't know.
Really quick, because I want to get this in. First of all, if you want protection, or what to do, you want to go to this this website for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's CFPB.gov. That's Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. CFP as in Paul, B as in boy.gov. I've got just enough time. There are 10 ways. I think I got time to talk about the top 5. 1, obviously, review your credit report. 2, consider a security freeze. 3, set up a fraud alert. 4, read your credit card and bank statements carefully. And 5, common sense, don't ignore bills from people you don't know. 6, shred any documents with personal or sensitive information. There's more information there. Again, I encourage you to visit that website, cfpb.gov. When we come back, we're going to talk about why zero-emission trucks are gaining momentum. This is RoadWorthy Drive.
This is RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
So, let's see. You've got a problem with your credit report. You do the responsible thing. Say, hey, this is not right. The company says, fine. Prove to us that you are who you say you are. Okay, here's my driver's license information. Cute. No. That is severely messed up.
How?
And did I mention severely?
How can they get away with? Yes, we realize that the only reason why you need this protection, especially now, is because we messed up. But then they're going to charge me to monitor it, even though they're the ones that caused it.
Oh,
and for 1 year.
Let go.
And what?
And for 1 year.
It gets better.
For 1 year.
1 year.
Because after that, then all of my information just expires, or now I no longer have to worry about it because it will never affect me?
No, but again, I have one of the companies that handles this kind of stuff that I pay a subscription to every month. And this is the exact reason why I have it.
Let me go this far for you. This is from Business Insider, literally last week.
Okay.
And I quote, "But without telling consumers, Equifax went around and told its customers, mainly banks and credit card companies, that the tally driver's license data had also been stolen, previously minimized with the phrase, in some instances, amounted to driver's licenses of 10.9 million consumers. They did not tell these people."
How? And you know what? What makes me so mad about this entire situation? They just enacted exactly what the common everyday person fears. The fact that we are not taken seriously. We're the ones supporting your company. Our monthly fees are the ones that make sure that you are in business.
Here's the problem. You don't pay monthly fees at Equifax.
Oh, they don't have. I thought they did have a subscription base.
They do have a subscription base.
You want credit monitoring.
Yeah.
They don't make their money from credit monitoring.
Okay.
They have their money like TransUnion
Talking to you, Mike.
and Experian. They sell the data
Right.
to credit card companies. Anybody who wants to check your FICO score, that's where their money gets made. We're just data. That's it. We're data.
That's
We're, yeah. Lovely day.
And that's where the problem is.
You
Yeah.
got that right. We're not going to have time to talk about insurance companies. Let me reset this. 8 minutes, 50 seconds. Sir.
8:50, sir.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get this straight. And I was out at 30, right?
Yep.
And that was enough time?
Yep. If you see me do the universal choke sign, you know you better shut up.
That's usual, Jack. I don't understand why that would be anything new. That's usual. Go somewhere and go.
And folks, this is how we normally deal with each other.
Yeah, a lot of love in this room.
So much love.
So much. Many much. Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, hold it. I'm playing with my notes here.
No, Sasha, this is how somebody like you and I gets into so much trouble because we have no idea what these guys are doing with our information.
Right, well, and see, I'll tell you what. I will be the first one to tell anybody this. I don't mess around with credit. I just don't. I don't take out loans. I just don't. I just.
The bottom line is be aware. And nowadays, with so much coming at you, it's easy to just throw your hands up.
Yep.
But you really can't. Hence, you have like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which gives good information, as does the Federal Trade Commission.
Okay, but here's my thing. Jack pays a subscription to someone that looks out for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the time. I just don't. I'm raising children. I'm doing my day-to-day.
Right, but you also don't have time to basically fix your identity.
I would not.
Nor do you know how to begin to fix your identity.
No, I've had it done once when I was younger. They did significant damage, and I submitted all the paperwork, but they wanted to take me in a loop-de-loop. I mean, this person went into like 4 different stores, ordered thousands and thousands of dollars online, and I mean, it was obviously not me, but they wanted to take me through this loop-de-loop. You call the police don't want to touch it because it's not really their thing. You can call the federal, but they're just like, well, you know what, it happens to hundreds of thousands of people every year, so, best of luck with you, Chuck. And that's it. And I threw up my hands about the whole thing.
What I would have done, I would have called my federal representative, raised in, I would have filed a complaint with the FTC. I certainly would have reached out to the Consumer Protection Bureau.
I just feel like if it's something that they're going to force upon me, like if they're going to force a number that's supposed to tell employers, banks, and now if I want to rent a property, if it's supposed to tell me that that's the kind of person I am, then they need to find a way to secure that information. Because I don't have the funds and I don't have the time.
Here's the thing. Don't confuse the FICO process with the FICO reporting. FICO, which is Fair Isaac score, that's a different setup. That number is reported to the credit agencies. And we've talked about alternative ways that they're looking towards an alternative to the FICO score for people who don't have credit or have chosen not to have credit. Because honestly, right now in the FICO world, if you are prudent, pay cash. Do it like the way they did it back in the days. The older farmers didn't fall in farmer prices because they didn't have money to buy it.
That's
right. And they paid cash all the time. They would look at, in our current world, as lowly as a deadbeat.
And see, that's me. I don't have a fingerprint except for the fraud. That's my own fingerprint.
But, there is a gentleman who you've all heard of, I will not mention his name, who basically has said that if you are like you, and you want to go buy a house, and you basically have paid for everything by cash, you don't have any credit, and you get this lovely letter from whoever that says, apparently there seems to be an error in your credit report.
Or what they would say is there's insufficient information in your credit report. You're right. In order to render a decision.
Right. But there are ways now around that.
And there are. Because of those we've reported here.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the fact that, hold me accountable. I mean, there's a couple bills like my straight talk and stuff like that, yes, I pay with a debit card. But other than that, everything is cash.
But a debit card is cash. It's not considered a credit card.
Right. But
and I don't hold any credit cards. Never will again.
Nope, neither will I.
Okay, people. 8 minutes, 50 seconds. It's party time to the party time. And we need to party.
Here we go.
This is the final segment for this hour of RoadWorthy Drive. Thank you for dropping in. I'm Ken Chester. Keyword, trucks. The coming evolution in both power plants and mobility choices are also affecting medium and heavy-duty trucks in real time. Now, I've reported to you over the last several years the growing impact of self-driving 18-wheelers and trucks that don't burn gasoline or diesel fuel, and superimposed on top of that, a growing truck driver shortage. Taken together, all of this is causing a quiet but no less monumental change in the trucking industry. And you would be surprised who is at the forefront of this change. We reported it earlier, and it'd be a great update. Now, you may have heard in the news in the past that Elon Musk was going to introduce a electric, autonomous 18-wheeler truck.
Yes, and he just recently put off making an announcement.
Shock, shock.
But he's going to be rebuilding electricity. So, you know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, right now, there is a vehicle in the port of Long Beach proving this out every day, and it's made by, and the engine is made by a company who does not make heavy trucks.
Who is it?
Toyota.
Really?
We've talked about that. What they looked at was they wanted a closed-loop situation that would solve your haul issues in predictable routes. They wanted something where you had central refueling and a way to reduce emissions. What they've done, now, you may recall that I got a chance to test drive, probably last year, their fuel cell Mirai Ford sedan. Loved it. Would you imagine that Toyota scaled that up for a heavy truck application?
I could see that.
And that's what they're validating in the port of Long Beach.
So this truck that's in the port of Long Beach is literally driving the port.
Well, yeah. Well, they're moving those containers around.
Correct.
You know, for delivery to railhead, off of boats, stuff like that. That's why they call it drayage.
Right.
And some of these, let's see now, they've got their proof of concept was a zero-emission Class 8 truck, and Class 8 is heavy-duty. Proof of concept is already completed, and I should mention this for the Elon Musk in the crowd, already completed more than 4,000 successful development miles while progressively pulling drayage, rated cargo weight, and emitting nothing but water vapor. That's now. Right now. Right this moment now. Now, this concept, what they call the Project Portal Heavy Truck concept, generates 670 horsepower. That is in range with your average 18-wheeler diesel motor. 1,325 pound-feet of torque from two Mirai fuel cell stacks and a 12-kilowatt-hour battery, which is nothing. It's relatively small to support Class 8 load operations. Now, the reason why this matters is the biggest problem with going electric is the weight of the batteries and how much space you need. Because if you add weight by adding batteries, you decrease the available weight to haul.
Correct.
So it makes it economically not feasible for a trucker, even in a loop like the port of Long Beach, to do it, because for the same size truck, I can't haul as much. Why am I fooling around with it? In the Toyota case, the concept's gross combined weight capacity is 40 tons.
That's 80,000 pounds.
Its estimated driving range, 200 miles per fill. Under normal drayage operation.
Now, did you say this is a electric vehicle?
It is, yeah, using a fuel cell to generate the electricity and hydrogen.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's an electric, but it's a fuel cell electric as opposed to a battery electric.
Okay.
Now, the advantage there is less weight. If you go to a battery electric to kind of pull these numbers, you have to have even lithium-ion, which is a light battery, would be heavy. And the problem is you want to get to zero emissions without necessarily reducing the payload of the truck. And that seems to be the problem. And that's the bugbear you ain't heard from Elon Musk yet. Then, okay, fine, if you're going to go battery technology, which is probably the way he'll go, because of his plant, his gigafactory, how many tons of battery
are you going to have
to even equal what Toyota's got here? And the best part about Toyota, they want to license this technology to the heavy truck manufacturers. They don't want to compete with them. They have no intentions of building these to compete.
So they're going to sell it to somebody like Peterbilt, Freightliner.
Yeah, Kenworth, yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah. And that's just one aspect of what's going on. Now, the big thing here, and I'm going to skip through this. This is a recent McKinsey and Company study last month. Talked about how, because of the nature of commercial fleets, commercial fleets are set up uniquely that could go electric rapidly. But to surprise, they estimate that medium-duty trucks doing, like, think of a FedEx truck or a UPS truck, delivering and picking up stuff, would have substantially more chance of going fully electric because of their duty cycle, because of the recharge cycle. The one that they said hands down to happen now, light-duty pickup trucks, today.
We're talking straight
Half
electric.
ton, yeah, half ton, 3/4, 1 ton, light duty.
Even the 1 ton?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Well, understand this. Railroad locomotives have been hybrids for 70 years. Diesel electrics. The motor, the diesel engine does not turn the wheels. The traction motors turn the wheels, which are electric. The diesel produces the electricity that's transmitted to the traction motors. That gives the railroads tremendous tractive effort for all the tonnage they pull, upgrade, downgrade. Just amazing. And people forget that. But being kind of a railroad guy at heart, I thought I'd bring that out. That this is nothing new. It's just a matter of weight. That's the problem. If you go battery electric, then you got a weight problem. If you go fuel cell like Toyota is doing in their Long Beach verification, they nail the problem with weight while still giving you a zero-emission vehicle that has as much torque as the diesel engines they're currently using. And imagine with the falling prices of batteries and fuel stacks and stuff, may even get to be a lower price than diesel engines. But this study says that light-duty trucks, medium-duty trucks, which would be your larger trucks, not the big ones, have the ability to go electric anywhere from now to into about the next 10 years. So, as they say, it's happened, people. Well, you know, as always, we're out of time again. But I thank you for joining us. And on behalf of Jack, Sasha, and myself, thank you for listening. This has been RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester is a copyrighted presentation of the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use is prohibited without the written consent of the Motor News Media Corporation.
We didn't get a chance to talk about what's going on in the insurance industry. We'll try to do that another time. Apparently, that organic engine, EVA, kind of threw my staff for a loop. They were a little confused. We had to talk through it. But that's what happens when you tune in for a week of RoadWorthy Drive. You never know what I'm going to talk about. So be sure to join us next time. On behalf of Jack, Sasha, and myself, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.